Hello, my first grade friends. Today is Wednesday, and it's another reading lesson day. Um, Yesterday we read Mr. Putter and Tabby Dance the Dance, and we wrote down patterns that we notice that Cynthia Rylant uses when she writes Mr. Putter and Tabby series. And today and tomorrow in reading, we're going to pivot to doing some more practice on retelling. I know that we do retell a lot, and I ask you to retell a lot, and because it's really important to remember what we read. And retelling is the way that we can communicate that we understand what we read. And when we retell, we get to know our characters better, and it stays in our minds when we retell a story. So today I'm going to teach you the 5-sentence summary. So we're going to use our 5 fingers to summarize, so to retell the most important parts of our story. Okay, so we're going to do that with Mr. Putter and Tabby Dance the Dance. Okay, and I've already worked on this before I started recording. And when I gave myself the task of doing the 5-finger summary, what I did was I went back through the book to remind myself what happened, in what order, and what's the most important thing. I didn't say every single detail. I didn't share the part about the end with the fizzy water because I didn't have space in my 5 fingers, and it didn't really go too much. It wasn't super important, the detail, to the storyline. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that I didn't read this book and then immediately put it aside and then write my 5-finger summary. So this is something that might take you some time and some effort to do. Okay, I wanted to be clear with you. So what I did was I looked through the pages of the book and I reminded myself what happened in the story. Okay? And that's what I expect you to do with your book too. So here's my 5 fingers. First, Mrs. Teaberry convinced Mr. Putter to go ballroom dancing. Next, Mr. Putter, Mrs. Teaberry, Tabby, and Zeke went to the Crystal Ballroom. Then, Mrs. Teaberry asked Mr. Putter if he knew certain dances. And then they danced the cha-cha-cha while Zeke danced the tango. Finally, they all returned home happy and feeling wonderful, especially Mr. Putter. So that's the 5-finger summary. What I'm asking you to do today is to practice that with one of the books that you read today for Read to Self, or it can be a book you read yesterday. And then I'm asking you to write it down. And every finger is 1 sentence. Okay? I'll show you my paper. It's not super neat and tidy, and I'm going to add a template picture of how you might do this too. So you'll have that to help you out. Okay? All right, so that is your task, 5-finger summary. And we're going to do the same thing tomorrow too. Okay? So because we read Mr. Putter and Tabby yesterday, we took a break from Beezus and Ramona. So that's where we're going to start off. Okay? And let's remember our good reading habits. I say this every time. You're probably sick of me saying it, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. What was happening when we read this last time? You think? What was happening? That's right. Ribsy was locked in the bathroom. And I think Ramona might have locked Ribsy in. But she said she didn't. So her mother sent her to her room. Ribsy's locked in the bathroom. Henry's there. Beez is there. The mother's there. Henry and Beezus were playing checkers, but now, for the second time, are being pulled aside because of something Ramona's done. All right, so make that mental movie. Put the characters outside the bathroom door. Ribsy's locked inside. Ramona's in her room. Okay, I'm there. No one gave us a key to the bathroom when we rented this house, explained Mother. And when Ramona first learned to walk, we fastened the button down with Scotch tape so she couldn't lock herself in. You did? Ramona, fascinated with this bit of information about herself, stopped crying and leaned out into the hallway. How big was I then? No one bothered to answer her. We've got to get Ribsy out of the bathroom, said Beezus. Yes, agreed Mother. But how? If you have a ladder, I'll climb in the bathroom window and unlock the door, Henry offered. The window is locked too, said Mother, bending over to examine the knob on the door. Maybe we could call the fire department. Henry tried another suggestion. They're always rescuing cats and things. They couldn't do anything with the bathroom window locked, Beezus pointed out. I guess that's right. Henry sounded disappointed. It would have been exciting to have the fire department rescue Ribsy. Well, I just can't see any way to take the knob off, said Mother. There aren't any screws on this side of the door. We've got to get him out some way, said Henry. We can't leave him in there. He'll get hungry. Beezus did not think this remark of Henry's was very thoughtful. Of course, Ribsy would get hungry if he stayed in the bathroom long enough, but on the other hand, they would need their bathroom, and it was Henry's dog who had locked them out. Then Beezus made a suggestion. Maybe if we pushed some glue under the door so Ribsy could get his paws in it, and then called him, he would scratch at the door. Maybe his paws would stick to the button in the knob, and he could unlock himself. Okay, I'm making a mental movie of that too. Beezus thought her idea was a good one until she saw the disgusted look on Henry's face. I just thought it might work, she said apologetically. Mother, began Ramona, leaning out the hallway. Mother paid no attention to her. I just don't see what we can do. Mother, said Ramona urgently. This time she stepped into the hallway. Unless we get a ladder. Go back to your room, Ramona, and break the window so we can unlock it, Mother continued, speaking with one sentence inside another, the way grown-ups so often did with Ramona around. But Mother, insisted Ramona even more urgently, I have to. Oh dear, I might have known, said Mother. Well, come on. I'll take you next door. Leave it to Ramona, thought Beezus, embarrassed to have her little sister behave this way in front of Henry. Don't worry, Ribsy, said Henry. We'll get you out somehow. He turned to Beezus and said gloomily, if we don't get him out by dinner time, maybe we could just cut some meat up in real little pieces and shove it under the door to him. I don't see how we could get a drink of water to him, though. We have to get him out before then, said Beezus. Father wouldn't like if he came home and found Ribsy had locked him out of the bathroom. Ribsy couldn't have locked the door if Ramona hadn't put him in the bathroom in the first place, Henry pointed out. What a dumb thing to do. Beezus had nothing to say to this. What could she say when it really had been Ramona's fault? Mother and Ramona soon returned. I think we'll get Ribsy out now, said Mother cheerfully. The lady next door says her little grandson locks himself in the bathroom every time he comes to visit her. And she always unlocks the door with a nail file. She told me how to do it. Mother found a nail file, which she inserted in the keyhole. She wiggled it around, the doorknob clicked, and Mother opened the door. It was as easy as that. With a joyous bark, Ribsy bounded out and jumped up on Henry. Good old Ribsy, said Henry. Did you think we were going to leave you in there? Ribsy wriggled and wagged his tail happily because he was free at last. Now maybe he'll be a good dog, said Ramona sulkily. Here's the picture. He is a good dog, aren't you, Ribsy? Henry patted. He is not a good dog, contradicted Ramona. He took my cookie away from me and gobbled it right up. Oh, said Henry, uncomfortably. I didn't know he ate your cookie. Well, he did, said Ramona, and I made him go in the bathroom until he could be a good dog. From the way Henry looked at Ramona, Beezus could tell he didn't think much of her reason for shutting Ribsy in the bathroom. Oh, Ramona. Mother looked amused and exasperated at the same time. Just because you were sent to your room is no reason for you to try and punish Henry's dog. It is too, said Ramona defiantly. He was bad. Well, I guess I better be going, said Henry. Come on, Ribsy. Don't go, Henry, begged Beezus. Maybe we could go out on the porch or someplace and play a game. Some other time, maybe, answered Henry. I've got things to do. All right, agreed Beezus reluctantly. Henry probably knew they wouldn't be safe from Ramona anywhere, the way she was behaving today. When Henry had gone, Ramona gave a hop to make her rabbit ears flop. Now we can play tiddlywinks, she announced, as if she'd been waiting for this moment all afternoon. No, we can't, snapped Beezus. Who could not remember when she had been so annoyed with Ramona? Yes, we can, said Ramona. Henry's gone now. We can't because I won't play. So there, answered Beezus. It wasn't as though Henry came over every day to play checkers. He only came once in a while, and then they couldn't play because Ramona was so awful. Just then the telephone rang, and Mother answered it. Oh, hello, Beatrice, Beezus heard her say. I was hoping you'd call. Tiddlywinks, I want to play tiddlywinks, chanted Ramona, shaking her head back and forth. Not after the way you spoiled our checker game, said Beezus. I wouldn't play tiddlywinks with you for $1,000,000. Yes, shouted Ramona. Children! Mother put her hand over the mouthpiece of the telephone. I'm trying to talk to your Aunt Beatrice. For a moment, Beezus forgot her quarrel with Ramona. Is she coming over today? She asked eagerly. Can you think of a synonym for the word quarrel? It's spelled not like the ocean coral. Quarrel. Not today, Mother smiled at Beezus. But I'll tell her you wish she'd come. Tell her she hadn't been here for 2 whole weeks, said Beezus. Tiddlywinks, chanted Ramona, more quietly this time. We're going to play tiddlywinks. We are not, whispered Beezus furiously. And as she looked at Ramona, a terrible thought came to her. Right that very instant, she was so exasperated with Ramona that she did not like her at all. Not one little bit. Crashing her tricycle into the checkerboard, throwing a tantrum, shoving a dog in the bathroom. How could one 4-year-old be such a pest all in one afternoon? And Ramona wasn't one bit sorry about it either. She was glad she had driven Henry home with her naughtiness. Just look at her, thought Beezus, cookie crumbs sticking to the front of her overalls, her hands and face dirty, all those silly paper ears. She's just awful, that's what she is. Perfectly awful. And she looks so cheerful. To look at her, you wouldn't know she'd done a thing. She spoiled my whole afternoon, and she's happy. She even thinks she'll get me to play tiddlywinks with her. Well, I won't. I won't. Because I don't like her one bit. And that's where we're going to stop for today. Almost to the end of the chapter, but not quite. All right, so back to the task at hand today. The 5-finger summary. We could even do that for this chapter. Okay, so I don't have enough time in my lesson to do it, but I did do it at the beginning of this lesson with Mr. Putter and Tabby, so you could rewatch the very beginning of the video. Okay, and I'm going to put a picture in the template that will help you do your 5-finger summary. So you're going to say it using your fingers, and then you're going to write 1 sentence per finger. Okay, see you tomorrow.